that time in my life I'd dated quite a few guys already, but never anyone who was right for me. When I was a teenager, I went through a real bad boy phase, so my friends will tease me a lot for jumping to the opposite, but I felt like I was really ready for something secure, something where I wouldn't get hurt. So I met Alex at this house party, and it was like a friend of a friend kind of situation. He was so charming and handsome and clever, really clever. He seemed like such a good guy. And it wasn't just me who thought so. Everyone really liked him.
I didn't know much about Alex's life before I met him at uni. He never really spoke about his family or where he came from, and I just assumed when someone's like that, it's just best not to ask. We used to hang out a lot though, do assignments together, and it just seemed like a really nice, down-to-earth guy. Always knew what he wanted, you know?
The difficulty with psychopathy, and Alex is a clear case of this, is that it's amongst one of the most difficult disorders to spot. The psychopath can appear normal, even charismatic, and yet, underneath, they lack empathy and a conscience, making them manipulative, volatile, and in some cases, criminal.
It's honestly hard to pinpoint when this case truly started. The first time the case came across my desk was after the death of Lisa Franks. She'd been missing for about a week before her body was found. From what we could tell, it looked like a mug had gone wrong. She had 4 stab wounds in the chest and 1 laceration across the neck. Her keys, wallet and jewelry were all missing. She was the start of what would be a long list of names.
I suppose the only struggle at the time was that he wanted to take things really fast, and now I suppose that could have been a warning sign, but at the time I was really flattered. He seemed like such a dependable guy, and I felt like I could finally see myself settling down with someone. Never had anyone so eager to get to know me. So when he proposed, I was just really, really excited.
The thing with the murders was they just blended in. They were conventional. Late nights, dark alleys, dangerous areas. Many of them seem like one-off cases. From what we can tell now, the killer was using different methods to throw us off. Some of his kills were calculated, some clumsy, some angry. Nothing about them was immediately correlated.
"999, are you in need of an ambulance, fire, police or Coast Guard?"
Yeah, police.
Okay, linking you through.
This is police services. What's your emergency?
Hi. Yes, we just found a body.
A body?
Yes, we just found, a body. I think a woman. There's like dried blood, I don't know.
Whereabouts, ma'am?
Just by the woods. At the bottom of the...
How long ago did you find this body?
Just now. Right now. We were just walking our dog.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to get some information from you. We've got people on their way.
It was while looking into the case of Sarah McHale that we got our first real clue. She'd been out, alone, at a bar, found dead by a wooded area near Chislehurst. Now, it's not unusual for lone women at bars to receive attention, but we began to notice a recurring figure at each of these crimes. Rumours of a tall man watching her from the bar began to circulate during the investigation. We had 4 witness statements implicating the same figure. We had a look into some of our cold cases, eventually digging up similar witness statements from the Jude Malik scenario. She too had been alone, at a bar, with 2 witnesses claiming a figure watching her throughout the night. This is where our investigation really took a turn.
The most successful serial killers of our time have been known to live through an alter ego. One portraying an image of normality, in which they seem to be just like everyone else, while the other allows them to live out their obsession with killing. I mean, just look at history. Ted Bundy was a charming politician. Mikhail Popkov, a policeman and security guard. John Wayne Gacy, a beloved children's clown. They became masters of disguise. Satisfying their craving to kill depended on it.
By this point, we had managed to connect at least 3 other cases. Single women between the ages of 19 and 30 over a couple of years, each one missing after a night out. Yet the pattern grew stranger. We found that males were also potential victims, with separate reports of 2 young men killed. We've now found potential connections between 6 other deaths. Yet aside from the correlation of nights out, we knew that there was a vital piece of information missing. Somehow, our killer had chosen his people from different locations and backgrounds and determined them to be his victims. It was only after interviews with friends and witnesses that we found the missing link. Each of the victims was signed up to dating apps, which led us to believe that these so-called attacks were actually carefully planned traps.
I remember this one time, I caught him using one of these dating apps, and of course he was already engaged to Holly at this point, so immediately I questioned him, and he'd just get all weird about it and turn his phone off, and that's when I realised it wasn't his phone at all. He was using this second phone, and his other one was just sitting on the table, and I remember I asked about it, thinking, is he cheating on Holly? And he just brushed it off. And he said, oh, I misunderstood, and it's not what I thought, and why wouldn't I trust him? I wish I looked more into it. Eventually, I pretended that it just never happened. Convinced myself that maybe I was wrong, but Alex, someone with a personality like that, you just believe them. I wanted to believe him.
And it's really hard. It's really hard not to blame myself in this type of situation, because I just think about all those people and what those poor girls went through, and the whole time I was just a part of his game, like a part of his disguise. I think about us being together, and it's ruined, it's poisoned.
The public persona of a killer is adaptive and reliable. They pander to the desires of their audience in order to build the perfect disguise. Alex's friendliness and charm merely hid his frustration and anger. He'd spent his life learning how to perfectly build this mask, allowing him to hide his moral depravity.
Alex's method, it was simple but effective. He would create fake profiles, someone else's name, photo, age. He'd even manage to link them to different locations. Technically, there was nothing to associate the real Alex from the online persona. Then, he would just set his plans in motion, talking the talk, organising a date, and then watching from afar.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh, hi, Jason. How you doing?
Good, good. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to meeting you tonight. Exactly, yeah. So the bar, yeah? 9 p.m.?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Alright, nice, cool. See you then.
Cool, okay, I'll see you later. Bye.
Alright, bye.
Alex would pick busy locations, the sort of places where he could hide in plain sight. He would watch and wait. His victim would turn up and then the date was nowhere to be found. He'd ignore calls, text messages, and watch until they'd leave, seemingly stood up. The victims had no reason to suspect what was happening. And on the way home, if the opportunity presented itself, Alex would attack. We're still linking cases to that predator.
Alex's method was a mirror to his false life. The fake profiles, simple yet effective. With a guy so smooth talking, so adaptable, it's no wonder he stayed under the radar for so long. I mean, these apps provide the perfect cover. True anonymity. And Alex was smart. He knew to take it slow. Psychopaths like him, high-functioning, organized, cunning, they pose a huge danger to society. I think we're in a time when it's more important than ever to have a strong guard up. Look for the lies. Understand them. Don't fall for the manipulation. It's only in being aware that we can be safe.
I found myself wondering, why me? Why did he pick me out of everyone? Was I too soft, or did he just think I was really too stupid to see what was behind all his lies? I guess maybe I was. It feels that way sometimes. To remind myself a lot that I'm not alone in this. Everyone fell for it. No one saw what was behind the mask. Not until it was too late to save all those people.
And so finally, we got a name. A real name.